Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamu alaikum. The topic today which we will be discussing is light. Now, a lot of questions comes in our mind that what is light, how it is formed, what are the characteristics of light, and what are the sources. So, I will try my best to explain light, its sources, what is a shadow, and how it is formed in this video. So, let's see what light is. Light is the brightness that comes from the sun, fire, etc. Now, these comes from different sources. These sources might be a lamp, it could be a sun, it could be a television, it could be candle or a torch. So all these are the sources which are producing light. There are other sources of light that are naturally occurring light sources. Some of them are fireflies and glowworm. These are the natural sources of light. The other which we earlier discussed were those which were man-made. These are the natural one, but they all are the light sources because they produce light. Now there are other sources which do not produce light, but they are good light reflectors. So these are some examples like moon and the mirror. These both are light reflectors. They do not produce light, but they can reflect the light. That is why they are known as non-luminous compounds or materials. To understand the concepts of the light, you all should know that what is transparent, translucent, and opaque materials. So to understand this concept, we will one by one discuss them. So in this slide, we will discuss that there are three types of materials, and depending on their nature, the light will be passed or not. So we will discuss it here. Now, the three types of materials are transparent material, translucent material, and opaque materials. The first one is transparent material. It let the light pass through them. This means that all the transparent materials in anywhere in the whole universe, they will all allow the whole light to pass through them. There will be no chance of not passing the light. Each and every beam of light will pass through this material. Now, the second point is translucent materials. These are the materials which only allow some of the light to pass through them. This means half of the light will be reflected. Now, the third one is opaque material. It do not allow light to pass through them. This means not even a single beam of light will pass through them. So, we now have three materials which allow light, the other one allow less light, and the third one do not allow any of the light to pass through it. Now, to explain further this concept, these are some examples in which you can see. This first one is the image of a window. In the window, we usually stand up and we just look at the surroundings. So you guys can see the other view can be easily seen. So this material is a transparent. So in short, glass is a transparent material. This image is having a blur image. So anything which is blur or smoky, that is translucent. This means some of the light will pass through it and some of them will be reflected back. The third image is a solid, and this shows that it is an opaque material from which none of the light can pass through it. Now, furthermore, we should know that what are the characteristics of light. So light can travel in a straight line. This is very important. Now, next point is light can be reflected. And the third point they want to show us that light can bend or refract. So here, these are some 3 points that light can pass through or it travels in a straight line, it can be reflected, and it can be refracted. This means refracted is the bending of the light. Now, most important is shadow. What exactly a shadow is and how it is formed. So a shadow is made whenever an object blocks the light. So we know that light travels in a straight line, and if any object will be standing in that way, it will cast a shadow at the back. So the light travels in a straight line, and when it will strike the object will not pass the light, and hence a shadow will be cast at the back. So to further clear this point, I will explain that the light travels in a straight line. So if it is blocked, there must be a shadow found. If it is not blocked, obviously no shadow will be found. Now it also depends on the object as well, that where the object is standing. If the object is standing near the light source, the image form or the shadow form will be different. And if the object is far away from the light source, the shadow will also be different. So let's discuss this. But before that, you all should know that the object must be opaque or translucent to make a shadow. This means a transparent material will not make a shadow. Only the opaque and translucent material can make the shadow. And why a transparent material cannot make a shadow? Because the whole light will pass through them and it will not block it. Now, to understand what kind of shadows are produced, why the shadow could be big or why it is smaller, so we should know that where the light source is and where the object is. Now, the common example which I would like to explain here is in our daily routine, and that is the morning time or the evening time and the sunset time. Now, you can all know that whenever it is early morning, the sun is very low and in the sky the sun is low and it casts a long shadow. Now you can see in this image the sun is just to rise and this is the light source, this is the object, the tree, and this is the shadow of the tree. So the shadow of the tree is long because the sun is low. Now, next point is in the midday, you guys can see that the sun is above the tree and it casts a short shadow. This is the sun, which is a light source. This is the object and this is its shadow. The third one, which is explained over here, is in the evening, the sun is low in the sky and it casts a long shadow. Now, there are three different conditions. Why this happened? This is because if an object is moved closer to the light source, the shadow gets bigger. And the other one, if an object is moved further away from the light, the shadow gets smaller. So this means that if the light source will be closer to the object, or in short terms, the object will be closer to the light source, the shadow will be bigger. Now you guys can see if the light source is near, so the shadow will be greater. So these were all the points related to the light and the shadow. I hope you understand this thing, and inshallah I'll further explain the other things in my next video. Till then, Allah Hafiz.